All right, everybody, let's get it started. I'm glad this music was loading up properly. Sometimes it doesn't loop, and that can be kind of annoying. But here we go. Oh, there's the watermark for the. Hello, everybody. There was the watermark for the music. I forgot to take that out. Happy to see you guys. It's good to be live again. It hasn't been too long. We did Sasuke not too long ago, and Sasuke was an absolute banger. So yeah, let's see who we got here. Hose, is that bowling? And then Poke, Donovan, Billy, Radium, Shane, Ninja Gamer. All right, so Fix, what's up? So welcome everybody to a new series that I'm doing. I'm marking it as my first YouTube podcast because that's a feature now, and that's very exciting. Maybe it'll reach wider audiences. We'll find out. Basically, we talk a lot about the future of Ninja Warrior, how much time these shows have. Specifically, more recently, A&W. We've all been talking about how the show is going to die, it's going to get canceled, blah, blah, blah. We're getting there. And I just figure, let's do a series where we have these conversations so that way everything is all in one place and we have something that everyone kind of generally agrees upon. I'm going to lay out some facts to you guys. I've got a nice little presentation set up, and it's going to break down what I've noticed throughout the history of Ninja Warrior. I think I should probably lead with a disclaimer. I'm not a professional. I'm not a part of production of any ninja shows, but at the same time, is there anyone else looking at every single ninja show in the world and looking at similar patterns between different shows? Probably not. I'm probably the only person who's actually doing a good job on it. Case in point, A&W 15 and 16, they're changing their format. We've seen that already. We know about that. And essentially, production thinks that the format change works well in other countries. It does not. Ratings have shown that actually makes it worse. We've seen that with Australia. The ratings get worse. We've seen that with France. The ratings get worse. We'll talk about the ratings in just a bit, but long story short, I do feel somewhat qualified because I am doing the research. So every episode of this live series will be talking about something different in regards to the future of Ninja, whether it's about the shows, about the leagues, about the fans, about the money, and it's very, very interesting to say the least. Hey, Jakari. And yes, Fix, they have brought the ratings down. We'll talk about France a bit, but long story short, Australia had Ninja versus Ninja, and they lost about half of their viewership, or 2/3 of their viewership. They lost nearly a million viewers in the span of a year. So anyways, let's get right into it. Let me make sure that my monitor is being shown, so that way you guys actually see the presentation. This is the Ninja Cycle. I need to resize this a little bit because it's a little too big. All right, so this is something I've called the Ninja Cycle for a long time. The Ninja Cycle is essentially, and we'll get chat up here because why not? Chat's, we'll move you right over because why not? Have you guys stick out on the side. That'll be good. So the Ninja Cycle is what I call the pattern that every ninja show goes through, or almost every ninja show goes through. And we're going to talk about how there are similar things between all of these ninja shows and how there are big differences. All right. So first off, what is the Ninja Cycle? It's a noticeable pattern in every Ninja Warrior show's lifespan. I'll be explaining it on stream, and we can predict using this pattern how much longer these shows have before they're eventually canceled. All right. So there's 6 steps to the Ninja Cycle, and step 1 is the pitch. Ninja Warrior is, in my opinion, a very easy thing to pitch to TV shows. For one, it's very easy and cheap to build. We talk about that all the time. Building an obstacle course show and getting the athletes out there, even if they're paying for their hotel or if they're paying for their flights over, which they've done sometimes, it's way cheaper than doing special effects for a superhero TV show or building a bunch of sets for a sitcom or having to pay out actors for a sitcom. Actors for sitcoms get paid so much more than this, you know? So, yeah, obstacle courses are cheaper than sets. I just realized that chat was cropped for a second, but yes, Fix, you are correct. So they're easy and cheap to build. You can theoretically, if your obstacle course show is popular enough, save yourself money or make more money because cheap to build, cheap to create, cheap to produce, potentially super popular, you're making a lot of money and you're profiting off of this constantly. Now, there's another point, and that there's no guarantee in Ninja Warrior that they're giving away money. Now, this has changed, obviously. Nowadays, pretty much every Ninja Warrior show, except for Sasuke, has a Last Ninja Standing prize, you know. But even then, the prize for American Ninja Warrior is $1 million. If no one gets the million, they're only giving away $100,000. They're saving themselves $900K. And that goes for every ninja show. Winning Ninja Warrior Germany, it's $300,000. But if you're the last man standing, I believe it's less than $50,000. I think it's $25,000. Australia had $100,000 for Last Ninja Standing, but they were up to $400,000 for a Conzen at one point. So obviously you're saving yourself money, and that can be appealing to the producers as well. Obviously, when it comes to making TV shows, it's all about the money, and so saving themselves some money. And lastly, Ninja Warrior is a unique concept, you know, and you can say there are other obstacle course shows. Absolutely. We've had Wipeout, we've had Takeshi's Castle, we've had, I mean, even you could even consider things like $1 Million Mile or Holy Moly. We've had Legends of the Hidden Temple. But the reality of it is, those are game shows. You know, Wipeout is a game show. Yes, it's obstacles, but like this is the most competitive obstacle course TV show on the planet. And it allows you to make some really weird, finicky looking obstacles. And I think, you know, Ninja Warrior has the advantage in that it becomes something that people want to watch. So needless to say, Ninja Warrior is very easy to pitch to studios. Now, not every show makes it, all right? When I say that, I mean even if a show gets approved to happen, not all of them have long lifespans. Looking here are just 7 examples of Ninja Warrior TV shows that don't make it past 2 seasons. All of these shows either had only 1 season or 2 seasons, and then they got canceled. So it's not always a recipe for success, but more often than not, we are getting shows that are lasting 3 to 5 seasons, 3 to 10 seasons. A&W is going to 15. We'll talk about seasons that are going to be happening in the future as well. But needless to say, we're getting a couple of shows in Europe that are actually about to get to the infamous season 10. But this isn't a perfect cycle, and that's why I wanted to just make the disclaimer right now. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't work for these people, so I can't say that this is a perfect science, but at the same time, these are essentially irrelevant to the conversation as well, because what we're trying to do is figure out how long the remaining shows are going to be on air, and these aren't coming back. I'm going to do a video on TSN about the shows that are going to come back, or that have a chance at coming back. None of these are on the list. So we'll move on from that. Step 2 is the prime. This is when Ninja Warrior is exciting and new. Let me adjust my camera. I just realized I made like a big old gap so I could put my camera like a little bigger. Yeah, there we go. Now you can, yeah, we're filling gaps here. And then the chat's next to me. There we go. Okay, so the prime is step 2, and this is when Ninja Warrior is exciting and new. It pulls in the ratings, and it has a lot of fans, and it starts to really become popular. And let me double check to see if I had any notes on this at all. Oh. Yeah, I did. Give me 1 second, because I don't think I went all the way to the A&W. Yeah, I didn't go all the way through A&W. So we gotta bear with me here a little bit. I gotta do some clicking. But I think we all are aware at this rate, if you're here, and if not, I'll educate you. Season 7 was the most popular season of American Ninja Warrior. Now, seasons 4, 5, and 6 also put up really good ratings. So we're going to go all the way back to season 4. This is the page for season 6. This is season 5. And this is season 4. Season 4 was averaging 6.2 million viewers. Oh, let me scroll down. Right there, the highlighted section. 6.2 million viewers. That's really good. That is very good. All right, we go and look at season 5. 3.7 million. Now, you can attribute this to the fact that G4 and NBC were airing season 4, and they weren't really doing as much for season 5. It was mainly NBC. And then we go back to A&W 6. A&W 6 really picks up. Oh, there we go. No, I was going to say the 3 million didn't seem right. Season 5. Yeah, there we go. That's right. Season 5 had 4.96 million viewers on average. So almost 5 million. It's a drop from season 4, but it's still a lot. Here we see that the season average for season 6 was 5.3 million, which is the highest it was at the time. And then we bring it back to season 7. Let's get the chart loaded up here. We're at 6.5 million viewers on average throughout the entire season. Very, very good. Obviously, this was the earlier stages of A&W. I'm not counting A&W 1 to 3, frankly, because A&W 4 to 7 was when it made it big. That's when it hit NBC, which was much bigger than G4 at the time. I think we all know this. So now that it hit mainstream, it started to get way more popular. All right. Now we're looking at Australian Ninja Warriors viewership. In the premiere, we had about 1.7 million, which is pretty good for Australia, and then 2.27 million on the finale. We're looking at an average of 1.7 million. Season 2, we'll talk about why there was a drop there, but then we quickly go back up to about 1 million in seasons 3 and 4, which honestly for Australian TV, this is good. If you look at seasons 3 and 4, this is the third most watched TV show at the time in that time slot. So it's still performing really well in Australia. That's how it was for the first 4 seasons. I know, we got the Wikipedia, bro. We're really vibing out here. Next up, this is the Wikipedia for Ninja Warrior Germany. Now we're looking at 2 million viewers, close to 3 million viewers for the first 5, 6 seasons. Season 6 ended off with 2.25 million viewers. And yeah, we see a little bit, it kind of is inconsistent in Germany, but we're within that 2 to 3 million range, and it's really well performing. All right, our lowest here was 1.9 million for the premiere, but even then 2.88, that brings the average up to about 2.4, 2.5 million. Ninja Warrior UK, we'll talk about in a bit, Donovan. Don't you worry. We'll get there. All right, so we'll bring it back up here. We're in the prime. And notice how I only went up to certain seasons. That's something I want to point out now. Step 3 is the post-conzen theory, and it's the theory that once people see a conzen on the ninja show, ratings start to go down. So, here we go. Taking a look over at Australian Ninja Warrior, all right? We see that we go from the third most watched show on TV in Australia to 7th, the year after 3 people achieve Kanzen Seiha. The viewership goes down from 1 million at the premiere to 800,000, and then 1 million again in the finale, but the premiere of last season was doing better than the finale. The average viewership went from 1 million to 700,000 in the span of 1 year. Why? Probably because people have already seen what they wanted to see. Don't believe me? Let's take a look here at American Ninja Warrior. This is season 7. Again, we've got 6.5 million. Now, season 8, people wanted to see it happen again. And that's the thing. Sometimes people want to see it happen again. Season 8 averaged 6.2 million. That's not bad. That really isn't bad. It's only a small drop. 300,000 on average. It's decent. But then you bring it to season 9 when people realized they're not going to get people climbing the rope every season. All of a sudden, they've lost 400,000 viewers. And then they lose 800,000 viewers in season 10. And then they lose another 400,000 in season 11. So we've already lost in about 3 years, 1 million viewers. And it only gets worse after COVID. We'll talk about that afterwards. Looking at Ninja Warrior Germany, we do see a decrease here. 300,000 fewer people watched Season 7's premiere, but their finale had good ratings. And I know for a fact it's because they were promoting that someone was going to win or had a shot at winning. And 2 people in that season did climb the tower. So it was something to get people hyped up. But at the same time, that's the reason we had bigger returns on this episode. So with that said, it's clear that maybe this post-conzen theory doesn't always work right after the conzen, but maybe a season or 2 after. It didn't work for ANW 8 still gave good ratings. ANW 9 was when we saw the drop. Germany 7 kind of drops. We'll see. Germany 8 could be a big drop. Australia Ninja Warrior had a huge drop. And the difference between Ninja Warrior UK Season 5 and Race for Glory is pretty noticeable as well. I don't have the actual numbers up here, but I do remember we were averaging about 1 million for Race for Glory, and that's not the most amount of viewers. So that is the post-conzen theory. Something else I wanted to point out about that as well. That's the wrong one. Here we go. This is Keshet12's ratings. This is for Israel, Ninja Israel. Ninja Israel was very big. It was the number 1 show in Israel for 4 straight years. Now, what happened in Season 4? We had a conzen. We had 2 konzens in Season 4. So Season 5, we don't see a major drop. But if you look at this paragraph, Network 13 earned a prestigious victory with Survival. This is Survivor. Survivor in Israel is the new number 1 show. And we see that Ninja Israel dropped down to 2nd place with 328,000 viewers. And that was for the finale. All right, that was the finale of Season 5. It was just last month. And so, it's not bad. They're still number 2. They're still putting up decent numbers. But obviously, they hit their peak and now it's dropping. It's not the number 1 show anymore. And so we see, again, it's not a dramatic drop. Like ANW 8, Germany 7, they weren't dramatic drops. However, they are still decreases, and I wouldn't be surprised if Israel Season 6 has even fewer viewers. We'll see. I'll keep tabs on it. Billy also said in the chat, country population is also a factor. Absolutely. I'm not trying to go too much off of the raw number. I'm not going to compare the 6 million people in America to the 1 million people in the United Kingdom, because there's more people in the United States, to my knowledge. It's more so about the percentages and the rankings on TV and the decrease in viewership over time. And that's the commonality, that's the common thread throughout the entire run of the show, of all of these shows. Now we look through and we get to step 4, which is the mess. I'll move my camera right over here. The mess is what I call the mess is what I call modern day Ninja Warrior, because you're starting to see decreases in ratings because you're not getting konzens. You've hit your peak. ANW 7, Australia Ninja Warrior 4, UK 5, Germany 6, Israel 4. You're hitting you've got your big moment. Somebody won, and it's historic. It really is. But what do you do when you can't guarantee that that's going to happen every year? You start doing stuff like this. You start bringing in the mega wall for the cash prize. You bring in the power tower for the speed pass or the safety pass. You bring in Ninja versus Ninja. You make split decision, the stupid memory tower in France. You throw in all of these different twists, and they start to make people turn away even more. And it starts to make people more frustrated, and the ratings get worse, which is unfortunate, because production thinks that this is working. Now, again, ANW 11, all right? 4.6 million viewers on average. We're skipping Season 12. Season 12 is an anomaly because of COVID, because of Drew, because they released in the fall and not the not the summer like normal. But we look at the 4.6 in season 11 on average, and then we see season 13 is 3.3. 1.3 million viewers gone. They just weren't a fan. They weren't a fan of season 12. They weren't a fan of the teens being marketed as something like ridiculously crazy. And that's not the teens' fault. It's not the teens' fault that they're good. It's just production edited them terribly. Mega Wall and Power Tower were good ideas. It's just that these twists started to turn some fans away, Alex. So that's my point. And then we look at season 13, a 1.6 million drop from season 11. Oh, apparently I didn't save season 14's page, but we go from 3.3 million in season 13 to 2.86 in season 14. We've lost 500,000 viewers on average. Now, a lot of this can be attributed to, like Alex is saying in the chat, the rise of streaming. People are probably going over to Netflix, not so much to cable TV or, Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever, Amazon, you name it. TV ratings are down across the board. Regardless, we are still seeing a lot of people bail on A&W, and it does not end with A&W. Here we see season 6 of Australian Ninja Warrior. We all know, or some of us know, how this goes. They've gone from 765 people on average, 700,000 people on average watching, and the 7th most watched show in their time slot, to 10th overall with 500,000 people. I know that at some point they hit less than 500,000 people in their episodes, and that's because they kept throwing in Ninja Warrior, or not Ninja Warrior, they started throwing in Ninja versus Ninja competitions on their semifinals and in their stage 1. Sound a little familiar? It's what A&W is doing. Modified, but still. Australian Ninja Warrior Season 6 got so much backlash that people just stopped watching. And viewership hit an all-time low. And, there we are. It's canceled now. It's currently not on air. Production is trying to get it back on the air. We'll see if anyone actually picks it up. But this is what happens, It's not great. And again, to prove as well that the gimmicks are not great, we see that Ninja Warrior France is in second place, but it's still falling with the lowest score of a finale of the show, almost of the entire show. 2.8 million viewers for the season 7 finale of Ninja Warrior France. It's the lowest one possible. And Ninja Warrior France every season has a different gimmick, to the point where it's almost an entirely different show every season. I've spoken to some French fans as well. They're sick of it, and they would rather watch Ninja Warrior Germany, which apparently also airs there, and they just prefer to watch that instead of Ninja Warrior France. But we are seeing a decrease over the years with Ninja Warrior France, and we're obviously seeing a new low here. So that's not a great sign. It's not. It's just not. Let's not go there yet. And then this is something that I forgot to mention about the post-conzen theory. People are mad that there's no winner. They were mad that there was no winner in Australia. Australian Ninja Warrior, awkward finish, no winner. As if anyone's going to watch the next one now. So disappointing. This was back in season 1. A flop, they're calling it. And Braveheart ended better than Australian Ninja Warrior did. Braveheart's a good movie. I don't know what they're talking about. But that's why we see the drop between seasons 1 and seasons 2. It's a significant drop from 1.7 million to 900,000. They wanted someone to win. And so season 3, we start to see an increase, and that's because their promotion was saying there will be a winner, and that was really just they started giving out last man standing prizes. And so people were happy. Everyone was like, okay, there. So that's the mess. We start to see a lot of convoluted things that start to affect ratings because the fans just want to see their favorite athletes run the course and try their shot at the rope. And obviously these twists are not working. So not great for them. But now we get to the present day. This is step 5. This is where our shows are at right now. Let's break it down. I'm gonna full screen this real quick. I'm gonna full screen my camera. Because we are at the crossroads here. There are many shows. That's exactly what I'm saying, Shadow. Exactly. A lot of people wanted to see who the first A&W would be, and, you know, they saw it, so they're done. So the present day, you know, people are still trying gimmicks, or their shows are basically dead. The only shows that aren't really trying to, the only shows that are not really trying to push new twists all the time are Ninja Warrior Germany and Ninja Warrior Poland. Poland introduced the Power Tower for the Speed Pass in like season 4 or something like that. And that's the only twist they've really introduced. They tried split decision. They got rid of it. It's just qualifiers, semis with the Speed Pass, and the 4 stages. Germany, also kind of the same. They have the Mega Wall. They had the Power Tower for a Speed Pass, but now they swapped the Power Tower out for a Ninja versus Ninja course, but it's the same thing. It's just a race for the Speed Pass. So generally the same. Their format has not been, hit too hard. And they're trying to promote that someone else is going to win constantly, so that's why their finale had higher viewers. A Speed Pass Billy, oh, you poor Brit boy. A Speed Pass Billy is a pass that you win that allows you to skip the semifinals. You race, like the top 2 from qualifiers will race each other on the Power Tower or on Ninja versus Ninja course, and you get to skip over the semifinals. You can still run the course in some countries for the safety pass, which is the redo, but essentially you don't have to worry about qualifying for Vegas or the grand final or anything like that. You basically just automatically go to stage 1 without any worry. So safety pass is awful. I agree, Shadow. Safety pass is garbage. So Germany and Poland haven't really changed their stuff. France is losing viewers the more gimmicks they add. They added Crossroads, which is 2 different paths of 2 different obstacles. I thought it was kind of okay. Like, they got to pick what path they went on. But then they had, like, Mega Walls that gave out speed passes. Ninja versus Ninja, but it wasn't side by side for the semifinals with the modified safety pass. Now there's a Power Tower where you have to memorize the moves. Otherwise, like, cliff ledges will fall on you. Man, there is Power Tower Redemption, like a Power Tower repechage on after stage 1. Stage 1 being furthest fastest. It's a lot. It's a lot of mess, and they're losing viewers. Yes, you were right, Poke. They still got to run. The Speed Pass winners could still run semis for cash prizes in the semifinals. And cash prizes, it is what it is. It's cash. Israel recently did an entire season, basically, of Ninja versus Ninja, where qualifiers and semifinals were Ninja versus Ninja. The 4 stages were the same, thankfully. But they started to lose some viewers as well. As we saw, it lost out to Survivor. Part of it could be because Survivor is more popular now. Part of it could be because people just weren't a fan of the twist, which I saw some comments on their Instagram. They weren't happy that like some of their favorite ninjas were losing races and then just were eliminated. So I get it. Yes, the Ninja Warrior France format would cause someone's brain to collapse into a black hole. A&W, we know what's happening there. Viewership is at an all-time low. The format is not good. They think that it's a solution to their ratings problem, when in reality, it has not worked for any country whatsoever. So this will be fun. They already are doing Season 16 for 2024, and we'll see what happens. Something else I wanted to point out, and this is when I bring back the... this is when I bring back my monitor here. Ninja Warrior Poland has been confirmed. Now, Ninja Warrior Poland does a spring season and a fall season. The fall season, essentially, is going to be Season 8, which is coming out here. Now, where was the line about... yes, the article down here says that the viewership for Season 7 of Poland is stable All right, so I looked at this. It's stable, right? But it is at a similar level to the viewership of the 6th season, which was last fall. All right. Now, we're looking here. Not the greatest ratings. Yeah, it's just not. They're averaging less than 1 million. Some of them less than 500,000 every episode. But if it's similar to season 6 and it's stable, that might be a good thing, right? No. Season 6 was like a red herring that the show was going downhill. So, I mean, Poland is barely hanging on by a thread. But when we go back to the season 8 article, casting for season 8 and 9 is open. Season 9 will air in spring of 2024. They're filming them back to back. 9th season appear on television in the spring of 2024. So we've got a double renewal, which means next year already we have ANW 16, Ninja Warrior France season 8, Ninja Warrior Poland season 9, and Super Ninja season 2. And I'll touch on Super Ninja in a bit. But 4 shows already confirmed for 2024, 3 of which are at their lowest ratings in series history. So this is going to be something. All right, let's bring it back up here. That's generally where all of our shows are at right now. Now there is one exception to this cycle. Sasuke, it just doesn't apply to this because Sasuke is not like these shows. Everyone tries to compare ANW to Sasuke, and it doesn't work. Sasuke is like the Super Bowl. You know how the Super Bowl, there's obviously your fans of football who are watching week after week after week, watching their team, just watching the games because they want to kill time. But then people who don't watch football will tune into the Super Bowl and put ridiculously high numbers on the Super Bowl for the halftime show, for the commercials, just out of tradition or anything like that. That's Sasuke. Sasuke isn't on 15 weeks of the year like ANW, or even Poland has 7 episodes, France has 5, Germany does about 12. It's not on all the time. It comes out once a year. People get excited for it. And so a whole bunch of people watch it, and their ratings are really good. Like Sasuke, this whole thing does not matter. I would say the format doesn't really matter, Shadow. I would say the celebrity point that you made, yes. The original thing, it doesn't matter because the thing about it being the original, it doesn't matter because the only people who care about that are the people who watch other countries' versions, and Japan does not. The Japanese audience just likes to watch Sasuke once a year, maybe twice a year occasionally, but they'll tune in once, even if it's the same crap all the time. Like, the course has been the same, competitors have been the same, results are mostly the same, and so, but does it matter? No, because they saw it in December, and they're waiting until December again. So, Sasuke, this stuff does not apply to Sasuke. Sasuke will likely outlast all of these shows. But with that said, how long do we have for these shows? These are my personal predictions, all right? Oops, let's not drag the camera like that. Let's maximize it. So, these are the shows. My personal prediction is that ANW is done after 2025. If they do an ANW 17, ANW 17 will only be because of the writer's strike right now. The writer's strike, people are not doing scripted TV. And because of that, networks need unscripted shows, reality TV shows, game shows, competition shows like ANW. They need that so that way they can still have something on the air. They can continue to make money. So that is really the only chance, in my opinion, that ANW 17 happens. That would air in 2025. And there's a good chance that once the writer's strike is over and we get back to our scripted everything, that the poor ratings will kick in and ANW will not have money. ANW will not pull in the ratings it used to, and then it dies. So either season 16 is going to be the last one in 2024, or season 17 is going to be the last one in 2025. Ninja Warrior France, I'm going to go with 2026 because of their renewal schedule. I think 2025 is going to be a really rough year for Ninja Warrior France. We've seen the decline. We've seen this year be an all-time low. But season 8 was announced for 2024 back in 2022 before season 7 even came out. Before any 2023 episodes, they announced that 2024 was happening. So in my mind, they're going to say Ninja Warrior France will come back in 2025, and they're going to say it before anything airs in 2024. And because of that, they're going to keep doing these buffer renewals, and it's going to affect them. And then eventually they're just not going to have enough money. So they'll run out. I'm guessing 2026. Would I be surprised if it goes on a little longer? No, but 2026 I think is the safest bet. 2026 and 2027 is kind of my toss-up for Germany. Like I said, ANW 8 wasn't a huge drop in ratings, but ANW 9 was. That's where Germany's at right now. Germany 7 is ANW 8 ratings-wise. Germany 8 is going to be the second season after a Conzen. We'll see if there's going to be a giant drop between Germany 9 or not, or Germany 8 or not. If there is a big drop between Germany 7 and Germany 8, then we should start to get worried and maybe think 2026. If there isn't, there might be a chance we get to 2027. Ninja Israel, I'm going to say 2027, but I can absolutely see it going on for longer. From what someone commented on my YouTube channel in my review of Ninja Israel, they kind of just watch Ninja Warrior Israel because it is the lesser of two evils. Yeah, it's basically like it's either that or like watch even worse shows. So people are going to keep watching it out of obligation, but eventually the ratings are going to go down and then it'll get canceled. My guess is 2027, but I could see it making it past 2027 as well. Ninja Warrior Poland, I'm guessing 2025 or 2026. It really depends because the ratings are kind of stuck at this low for them, and it's not great. Like, if it gets any lower, they're at risk of getting canceled. And with them doing 2 seasons back-to-back, they're doing seasons 8 and 9 back-to-back. They're filming it back-to-back. There's a chance that they'll do seasons 10 and 11 filming back-to-back. We don't know yet, but that kind of depends. So either it's done in 2025 because the ratings are so bad and they'll film, what is it? Season 10 and 11 will go 2024, 2025. Season 10 in fall of 2024, season 11 in spring of 2025. That's the stuff that they film back to back. Season 12 would theoretically come out in fall of 2025, but if the ratings are worse, there's a chance that they just don't film it and the show dies in 2025. If not, it'll probably die in 2026 with season 13. Super Ninja, I put question marks. Super Ninja is Russia's latest Ninja Warrior show that is a mix of a whole bunch of different obstacles from a whole bunch of different obstacle shows. You had stuff from Ninja, you had Sasuke obstacles, you had Beastmaster obstacles, $1 Million Mile, Gladiators obstacles. Like, it was wild. It was nuts. My thing is, they've already renewed it for season 2. Season 2 will film this year, and it'll air in 2024. My thing is, it's doing really well right now because it's season 1. This is going to be season 2. That means we are back in... That means we're back in the prime for Super Ninja. It's still new to these people. It's pulling in ratings. It's something different, and people are excited about it. So, you know, it's not a guarantee that Super Ninja is going to die. Super Ninja could become one of these shows that ends after 2 seasons, but right now we're probably here, and we don't really know how long we have until Super Ninja survives. Or Super Ninja dies. We'll see. We'll see. With that said, we are in a very pivotal moment in the years of Ninja Warrior shows. We are at we will be facing step 6, the end, very soon. Step 6 is the cancellation of these Ninja Warrior shows. And, you know, it can be a bit bleak, but at the same time, all good things must come to an end. All bad things must come to an end. And I wouldn't be surprised if by 2025, we have 8 active ninja shows right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we only have 3 or 4 in the future. What's up, Coop? Good to see you. Yeah, it is bleak, but it does open up a new chapter, which leads me to my final slide. What happens next? Be sure to tune in next time because we will be discussing, without A&W, without Ninja Warrior Germany, without Ninja Warrior France, what is next for the sport of Ninja Warrior? What comes next for the athletes? What comes next for the fans? And I think that's something that deserves its own presentation / PowerPoint. So with that, I'm going to take some time now. Feel free to ask any questions. Let's open up the discussion. I want to talk with you guys about it. And I want to do that live so that way we have this conversation to hold on to. You have lots of thoughts on the leagues as well, Evan. So do I. We're going to be talking about the leagues for sure in coming episodes. Part 2, I'm going to be doing one of these streams a month. So I would say give it about 2 or 3 weeks. Let me actually check the calendar because I do have a calendar here. I think I'm doing it in about 3 weeks. Yeah, probably 3 weeks from now, I'll be doing a second episode. I wanted to wait until the end of the month, but the end of the month is essentially Worlds for the World Ninja League, and I'm working that. I'm gonna be busy, so I'm gonna get it done beforehand. Oh, well, Donovan just sent me something huge. Thank you, Donovan. Donovan sent me the official ratings. I don't know how I couldn't find this, but thank you for finding it, Donovan. Donovan sent me the ratings of Ninja Warrior UK. And it was on the Wikipedia, and I just apparently didn't look. We see here that we started off with an average of about 3 or 4 million. And then after the Kanzen Seiha, it got canceled. That was just kind of budget reasons. I spoke with Ali Hay about this. I interviewed him a couple years ago. And he said they were just spending so much money on things that didn't need to be bought. And it ended up like bankrupting the show, basically. And then it came back, but Race for Glory had the lowest ratings. Now, there's a lot of things that happened to Race for Glory. For one, promotion was ass. It really was. It was not good. 2, the Queen died like the week of the premiere. And so a lot of networks were covering the death of the Queen. And Ninja Warrior UK was actually the first thing to air. Ninja Warrior UK was the first thing to air after the Queen died. Like besides, yeah. And then the format just kind of blew. So it wasn't a recipe for success for Race for Glory. There is a chance that it'll come back. Again, I'm going to make a video on TSN about Ninja Warrior shows that could come back. Ninja Warrior UK is on that list, and we'll go into that. But thank you for sending me the ratings, Donovan. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. Let's see. What else? Lab Duck asked if I know anything about Ninja Warrior Netherlands. Ninja Warrior Netherlands is never coming back. The sport of ninja in the Netherlands is basically dead, with the exception of a few fans. There used to be a park. I'm good friends with Perry Oosterly, who was the last man standing in Ninja Warrior Netherlands. And, he was just like, the sport hasn't taken off. It never did. Oh, what's up, Merte? I didn't realize that was you. Yeah, so Ninja Warrior Netherlands, I mean, there's still a couple relics of Ninja Warrior out there, obviously, you would know. But competitively, it's best for for Netherlands ninjas, it's best that they start looking towards the UK or any other place in Europe for ninja competitions. Germany, Switzerland even. Switzerland's still kicking competitively. Yeah. So, how much did Drew Dressel's arrest affect ratings? I mean, I feel like it definitely had an impact, but I think everyone over-exaggerates how important that was. It was important to the community, to the fans, to the coaches, to the athletes. It made a bigger impact there. It made fans think, oh my gosh, like these people are more human. In my opinion, it humanized the competitors, even if it was in a bad way. For the coaches and the athletes, it really made people worried, like, how do we protect these kids? Because a lot of the athletes in Ninja right now are kids. So it became, how do we as coaches, as gym owners, as people who are running competitions, how do we make sure that our kids are safe? And that's what it really impacted. The show, it's kind of tough to tell because, again, that was in COVID. It released in the fall, not the spring. No one really promoted it. And then Alex brought up something that I totally forgot. The finale was like around the time of the election as well. So there were just, nobody was watching it. Yeah. COVID had a much bigger impact on A&W, absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cooper, my boy. It's good to see your take on here. Yeah, A&W is going down. I hope some of the leagues survive as well. We're going to definitely talk about the leagues in a future episode of this series. And essentially, I mean, you guys, most of you guys know that I work for the World Ninja League. I am going to be a little biased. I think the World Ninja League is the best Ninja League, and we'll talk about why, again, in a future episode. I have a lot of thoughts on the leagues right now, and I'm going to try and condense them all. But basically, I do hope that WNL survives. I think it will. I think it's the most likely to survive for the longest out of all of the leagues in the United States for sure. We'll see about the rest of the world. I don't know too much about international leagues. I'm still looking into that, and that's why I haven't done the episode. I want to make sure that I do more research first. NNL is WNL. Yes, they rebranded from National Ninja League to World Ninja League. Spence Sports Network asked, if Drew wasn't a criminal, would A&W last a season or two longer? I don't think it makes a difference. I do not think it makes a difference at all. I think regardless, there's only so much they could have done with COVID and with everything else, really. I think it would pretty much be the same. I think people would just collectively stop watching year after year the way it has been. I don't think Drew affects it that much. Drew is but Drew was, before he was arrested, he was on this pedestal to everyone in the diehard fan community. And I think that's something that we need to talk about as well. There's also going to be an episode on fans. But there are millions, there's 2 million people watching A&W. There's 5,000 diehard fans. It's not a lot of people. So for everyone who thinks that Drew did this, he dropped this major bomb on the viewership, he didn't. He affected the 5,000 people, which is still a lot of people. It's still massively important. It's still big, but it's not like he ruined the show for 2 million people. So that's just something that we need to acknowledge before we progress with the series. I didn't read. If COVID never happened, is A&W in a better spot? That is a very good question. I would say yes, but not by a lot. Obviously it would be better, but we would still be seeing decreases, as I just talked about. The post-conzen theory, eventually people saw the win, they stopped watching. The twists started making people turn away. They were tired of the gimmicks. I have it predicted for ending in 2025. I think maybe it would make it to 2026 without COVID. Yeah, that's kind of it. Coop said, I remember my first season in WNL. Drew was the one that made the course. That course was horrendous. I'm so sorry that you had to spend your money on that. That's tragic. Oh, that's brutal. Well, We'll get one last round of questions going off, and then I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. If anyone has any final comments or questions, let's keep the discussion going. But if not, next episode is going to be either about ninja leagues or about fans of ninja shows and like what the different possibilities are. When A&W closes, will Matt and Akbar have a tribute at the end of the final season? No. Probably not. This is American television. It's not like some high school graduation or something like that. It's just going to be like, if anything, they'll make an Instagram post and they're going to get very supportive comments about their work on the show, and then that's going to be it. That's the full extent of everything. Julius, thank you. Swivel steps PTSD. Sadness. I also wonder what they thought of Super Ninja. We did get some... I did look at like their channels because they don't have like their own Instagram page for Super Ninja. They just put it on their network's Instagram. They seem generally positive. The only thing that they want is like better opportunities for female athletes on the show, which I can understand. But at the same time, I mean, if they don't, they don't. I mean, their ratings are still good. They'll do well in season 2, in my opinion. What exactly do you think the fandom will do after all ninja shows end and no new ones are being made? Who's the most popular ninja ever in America? That one's the easier question to answer. Jesse Graff. It was Casey. It's Jesse Graff. It's still Jesse Graff. It will continue to be Jesse Graff. Shadow. Again, this is like crossing into something else that I wanted to do. But essentially, I think a lot of people are going to leave this like fan community that we have. I basically think that people are going to... I mean, Sasuke is still going to be around. As I was saying, Sasuke is its own thing. It does something completely different from the rest of the world in Ninja. So Sasuke will be around, and I think it's going to be a lot of people just obsessing over Sasuke the way they already do, but even more so because there's not going to be other things to distract them. You know, I make it a point with watch parties and with the vault, like I'm trying to get more people into things because we don't need to do, what if Shingo didn't dislocate his shoulder? What if Yamada made the final stage in Sasuke 10? Like, we don't need to do that. It doesn't... what ifs are stupid because they're never going to happen. It's the past. Leave it alone. But those conversations still happen. And, you know, without things to distract them, like watch parties of ninja shows or spoilers or theories or set leaks of Vegas or something like that, you know, they're just only going to talk about Sasuke. I think it's going to make people leave. I think people are going to get bored and they'll just become casual fans. And I think other people are going to really fixate on Sasuke and just stick with it. And I personally, I'm not one of those people. When it gets to the point where it's just Sasuke, I'm not going to be talking about just Sasuke. I'm going to be talking about other things, about the leagues and the sport of ninja, because I don't... Like, Sasuke to me is not the big thing anymore. Sasuke to me is not the best in the world. Going through these questions... Any females in the grand finals of Super Ninja? No. There were a couple that made the semifinals. Semifinals were races. And the women had a 10-second head start, and they all still lost anyways. If a woman wins the show, would it save A&W? I think it would give it one extra season. And then after that, I think it would go right back to business as usual. Sasuke lasts possibly... Wouldn't be surprised if it lasts until 2040. I would not be surprised either. But we'll see. If I were to give Sasuke an end date, what would it be? That's a very tough question. I'm actually going to go with 2047. And I say 2047 because I think at that rate... let's look at the field of Sasuke competitors right now. It's a lot of the same people. They're all about to turn 30. A decade from now, 2033... something like that, they're going to be in their 40s, they're going to be older. Will there be new stars to rise? And absolutely, there's going to be new people who come in, do well. Eventually, someone new who isn't Yusuke is going to win the show. but that's a ways away. And with that new generation, either one of two things is going to happen. Either that new generation is going to carry the show for a really long time, or Inui is going to stick with his people, his Yusuke's, Jun's, Keitaro's, Tada's, and they're going to be, treated like the All-Stars were in Shin Sasuke, how they were like on this pedestal. He's going to put them on a pedestal, even if they're close to 40. So I say 2047 because it's enough for them to push out the Morimoto generation, the Morimoto Sedai, which I don't think is real, but whatever. It's going to allow them to push that group of people while also rising up a new generation that could take us to 2047. And I say 2047 because it will be the 50-year anniversary of Sasuke. And I think the new generation will either go over well with people, or they'll get bored and ratings will start to go down. They'll get it to 50 years of Sasuke, and then they could end it. Now, could I see Sasuke going on past 2047? Yes. But it really depends. Like, circumstances can absolutely change. We don't know if there's going to be another pandemic or something, that could really affect ratings. Do I think Inui will still be the producer of Sasuke by that date? By 2047, no. I think by 2040, he retires. I think somewhere, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone by 2030. But he is kind of old. I believe he's in his 60s. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up, just retiring by the time he's in his 70s. Not out of, burnout from Sasuke, not out of not wanting to do it. It's just that, his career will have come to an end, and he'll be at peace with that. In 2040, he'll be in his 80s. He'll probably retire. So, that's my take on it. Let's see. I got a ping. Oh, never mind. It was for another server. But yeah, guys, I hope this video kind of helped you get a feel on where we are show-wise, what patterns have emerged, and where we could be going in the next couple of years with TV shows. 2023, 2024, and 2025 are going to be some of the most important years for ninja shows because it'll be when they either make a comeback or it'll be when they get canceled. And time will tell. Time will tell. But this is the state of ninja shows that we're in. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bummer, but rest assured, we will be doing much, much more of this series. We will do many episodes, and we will talk about the different options that you guys are going to have as Ninja Warrior fans, as people who might want to compete on stuff someday. Because at the end of the day, the shows are not the only thing. Sasuke is not the only thing. If you're interested in things besides Sasuke, I'm going to be doing episodes where we can talk about what options you might be interested in, what might intrigue you, and just personal recommendations, professional recommendations, things like that. We'll get into that. But with that said, wraps up my whole thing. So bye.